So we got the yellow one cut open. Ooh, this is interesting. What's going on, rough golfers, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the Legato LTX 3080 golf ball. You probably have never even heard of this brand. It's one of those direct-to-consumer brands, much like Vice or Encore, that claims to offer you a premium golf ball for an affordable price. We're going to put that to the test today in this video. As with any golf equipment or gear review that I do, I cover four main categories. That's design, features and or functions, performance, and of course, price. That's a big one sometimes. So starting with design, the Legato comes in two main colors. That's the standard white and of course the high vis yellow. It is a three-piece 85 compression cast urethane golf ball. Now, when you hear cast urethane, my mind automatically says performance, because cast urethane typically lends itself to a higher performing ball, better spin, better feel versus the Surline or Surline cover that you see on some of the more affordable models of golf balls out there, especially those big name brands that have like a mid-tier golf ball. Most of those covers are not cast urethane. Legato, on the other hand, has a cast urethane cover. 350 dimple pattern. On the back of the box, of course, it tells you that it feels soft, it goes high, it goes long, it's got great short game spins, pretty much everything you read on any golf ball box out there. So I never really believe the boxes and what they say. I got to put it to the test. Now, moving on to features and functions. Again, I mentioned it had a 350 dimple pattern on the golf ball, which is very consistent with some of those premium performance golf balls out there on the market, some of those name brand golf balls. The cast urethane cover feels really good, really sticky, so I feel like I'm going to get a lot of spin off of that. The ball was designed to help you break 90 with an 85 compression. It's going to feel soft. It's going to help some of those lower swing speeds out there. So if you're 110 miles an hour under with your driver, and this is going to be an excellent golf ball to look at because you're going to be in the sweet spot for playing this 85 compression golf ball. Another one of the features is this bold track alignment system that they have on the golf ball. I use kind of a version of aim point putting, and I find it to be very helpful. I also use that bold track to line up my tee shots. Another cool feature of these Legato golf balls is that they only come in odd numbers. So you're actually getting in the box, you're getting 1, 3, 5, and 7 instead of the standard 1, 2, 3, 4. So the fact that they're all odd is something unique. It's something different from what the other brands are doing, and I really like that as an added feature. Now, one thing I can say that I'm not a huge fan of is the actual lettering, okay? I feel like Legato is very big and florid and busy, and then you've got the LTX 3080 underneath, which is kind of like unnecessary, you know what I mean? Maybe the LTX 3080 could go in where the bold track section is. I think that might be a little bit of a cleaner look. I feel like the front of the golf ball is a little bit busy, but you know, that's just me. Let's talk about performance. So I took this thing out to the course and I did a wide variety of testing. I started out on the putting green, just hitting some small putts, and then moved on to longer putts to see what the feel of the golf ball was. Now, I currently have an Odyssey Rossi 2 putter. It's one of the OG putters, not the new OG. I mean, OG is in like, came back out in 1996. It's got a black insert, so the insert's a little bit harder than what you would experience if you're putting with like a white hot or something like that. And I found that the ball had a nice little tick off of the putter face, okay? It does feel soft, certainly not the softest I've ever played, but it does feel soft. Has a good roll. I didn't see a lot of inconsistencies with the roll. Of course, there are some inconsistencies with my putting, but that's me, not the golf ball's fault. Moving on to small chips. I felt like small chips around the green checked up very nicely. It is responsive off of a nice clean wedge face. I also feel like the LTX 3080 rolled out really nicely when I played those bump and run shots on those early morning greens. Now, full wedge shots into the green, I will say that this ball has some spin, okay? I was actually plugging the ball in some cases because the greens were pretty soft, but I was getting a very responsive feel off of this golf ball. Now, even though the Legato LTX 3085 is touted as being a softer feeling golf ball, it didn't feel squishy with my iron shots. And a lot of times when you get a real soft golf ball, it can feel just like a marshmallow. Now, one area I did notice I was having a little bit trouble with was driving off the tee. My swing speed averages around 117 miles an hour with my driver, and that is quite a bit for an 85 compression golf ball to stand up to. I need something a little bit harder so I can get the maximum distance. I still got great distance with the golf ball, averaging around 270 to 280 yards on my drives. Now, I don't want that to discourage most of you out there because most of you aren't a 16 handicap golfer with a 117-mile-an-hour driver swing. Most of you have a lower swing speed, which is perfectly fine because that's what's suited to this golf ball. Okay. Anything under 110 miles an hour, this 85 compression golf ball is going to perform magically. The last parameter I want to cover for performance is durability. This is a big thing with me as an average golfer. Golf balls are expensive and you only get a dozen of them, so you need to make them last for however long your budget can stretch. Now, after hitting this ball 10 times with a clean wedge into a net, you can see that obviously it does get pretty dirty. I do have kind of a dirt patch out there that I hit off of. So the ball's dirty, but there are no major nicks or cuts or scrapes. And I was hitting a wedge as hard as I could directly into a net that was about 4 feet in front of me. So you'll see these striations here are obviously from the ball spinning into the net. But there's no cuts or anything that would prevent me from playing this ball on the next tee. Just obviously needs a real good wash. The high vis model fared a little bit better than the white. It does have some discoloration on there from the dust, but no nicks, cuts, or anything like that. And definitely wouldn't be discouraged from teeing this up on the next hole after a good ball wash. So moving on to the last category, we're going to talk about price. Now, you can get a dozen of the Legato LTX 3080 golf balls off of Amazon for the price of $29.99. Okay, $30 a dozen for a cast urethane 3-piece 85 compression golf ball. All right, so the part you've all been waiting for, we're going to be cutting open a couple of these Legato balls. I'm going to be cutting both of them open, the white and the yellow. And if you guys can see it, so it's got the outer cast urethane cover. It's kind of got a clear layer in between the cast urethane cover and the core, and then of course that white core. Now that is the white golf ball. We're going to go ahead and cut open the yellow golf ball. There we go. So we got the yellow one cut open. Ooh. This is interesting. All right, for a second, I was a little bit confused about the high-vis model because the yellow covering of the golf ball is actually coloring the inner layer between the cover and the core yellow. So it's really hard to distinguish, but if you hold it up to the light just right, you'll actually see the little line there that separates the outer cover, the inner cover, and then the core center. So indeed, they are delivering on their promise of a 3-piece golf ball. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, then you should check out this playlist right here, chock full of other golf gear reviews. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, keep on swinging.